What is up, everybody? It is the True Epic Gamer here, and today I want to talk about why the Switch 2 kinda sucks, and I'm going to tell you why. At first glance, it seems like a solid upgrade, but underneath, it's full of baffling choices and disappointing compromises. Let's start with one of the biggest marketing lies that Nintendo used. They're bragging about the 120Hz support. It sounds great, right? A smooth next generation experience. But here's the truth. Only one game supports it so far, and that is the $10 tech demo called Welcome Tour. Not even Mario Kart World, their own flagship launch game, uses it, which is really disappointing. This is classic Nintendo, advertise cutting-edge tech and then never use it. Speaking of Mario Kart World, it's the only real first-party launch title, and it's mid at best. They completely messed with the formula, one-lap races, highway intermissions, and stripped-down gameplay. Even if you like it, it's all we got, one game. Beyond that, just ports of Switch 1 games, or weaker versions of games that you've played on consoles or PCs elsewhere. And here's the kicker. Nintendo wants you to pay $10 extra for each Switch 2 upgrade. There's a few free ones out there, but the ones you actually care about cost money. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom cost $10 each to upgrade. So if you already own a library of Switch games, you're paying again just to play them with a better frame rate. Now let's talk about the price. The console is $450, and first-party games like Mario Kart World are starting out at $80. That's more than a PlayStation 5 digital cost for a handheld that's not even that powerful. And what do you get for that price? Not a new look, that's for sure. The UI is almost identical to the original Switch. No better portability, the battery life is worse than every previous Switch model. Just 2.5 hours of gameplay. And yes, the battery also drains in sleep mode. And talking about that UI, I know some of you guys are going to say that duh, it's the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. Of course the UI is going to be the same. But do you guys realize that between the DS Lite, the DSi, and the 3DS, they were all completely different UIs, and each time you booted up a new one, it honestly felt like a brand new console. It felt wow, it looked amazing. They couldn't do something similar? Like, I feel like it would have been really easy for them to throw in. And somehow they made the battery the worst battery in the entire Switch family. And they paired it with a downgraded LCD screen, even after hyping up the OLED on their last gen. You know they're saving the OLED Switch 2 for later, and they're going to charge like $600 for it. And remember Joy-Con drift? Yeah, there are already early reports of stick drift on the new model. They swore that they fixed this. It clearly isn't. Hopefully it's just a couple of Switches having early issues, but there's already been reports, which is not really a good sign. And if that wasn't enough, they've added tamper protection so aggressive that people are getting bricked consoles for inserting normal SD cards. I'm not totally against them bricking consoles that are doing illegal stuff, but they gotta make sure that people who are doing normal stuff don't get screwed over. Nintendo's trying to block the modding community, and that's whatever, but it's backfiring big time and hurting normal players, and that's honestly just unacceptable. And then we have the $10 tech demo. Nintendo saw Astrum's Playroom on the PS5 and said, hey, everybody loves that, let's do that. Except they forgot that it was free and it was awesome. This one looks completely terrible, and again, they're charging you for it. All it is just shows you the features of the Switch 2, and they're charging $10 for it. Absolutely insane, super greedy move by Nintendo. So what are you paying for? You're not paying for cutting edge power. The Switch 2 just barely catches up to where the original should have been. It's not even trying to compete with other next-gen consoles because it clearly can't. It's just avoiding being left completely in the dust. I'm telling you guys, if you really just compare it to the Switch 1 and how powerful that console was in comparison to its generation, they're basically just back to square one. They're not really making it any more powerful in terms of current gen. It's a lot more powerful than the Switch 1, but once again, they already had an insane amount of catching up to do, and they only halfway made it there. Don't get me wrong though, it's not all bad. If you love Mario Kart or want to replay the Zelda games at 60 FPS, which is awesome, maybe it's worth it for you. But for most people, this isn't a big leap forward. It's a $450 reminder that Nintendo can get away with doing the absolute bare minimum and everybody's going to go along with it. If you're still on the fence, I would say maybe wait for more games, or if you want to wait even longer, inevitably they're going to have an OLED upgraded console, hopefully with better battery life, because this battery life is honestly embarrassing. I mean, 2.5 hours, it's supposed to be portable. This thing's going to be dead before you even get traveling wherever it is you're going. I do want to be 100% clear though, the Switch 2 is obviously way better than the Switch 1. It is 4K for the first time ever. It does have 120 Hz, I guess, if you want to count that. I'm not really going to count that, to be honest. But at least it can run normal games at 60 FPS, which is something the Switch 1 couldn't even do. Even on their own first-party titles like Breath of the Wild, there were frame rate drops left and right. So obviously, this is a much needed improvement. But what I'm saying is they just did the bare minimum, and it's not exactly catching up to next gen, or this gen, I should say. In my opinion, I know everybody thought this was going to be like a PS4 Pro or higher. In my opinion, it's like the power of a PS4, which is kind of cool. You know, it's portable, but like the PS4 is really old. So how much credit do you really want to give them is the question I'm asking. Let me know down in the comments below how you guys feel. If you have one, let me know how you're feeling about it. If you don't have one, let me know what you're thinking about. Are you going to get one, or you're on the fence still? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I promise I'm not just a straight up hater. I'm just pointing out that there are some flaws with the Switch 2, and I feel like Nintendo could have done a lot better with this. If you guys want to hear why I also think Mario Kart World kinda sucks, check out my other video. It should pop up any second now. That's all I got for you guys today. And as always, peace.